All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Salutations to the men of the whole and sincere elect. This is your beloved brother, Marcus out here in Trinidad. Just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. I just want to say a few words, concerning these demons that, that be, as the scripture says, none of the angels had he put in subjection the kingdom to come. All right. And when you look at the word subjection, it means to be under the rule of. So now we under the rule of the elements of this life, of the flesh subjected to the elements of this life. All right. So by default, we are subjected to the persuasion of these unclean spirits. And a lot of times we say, this guy have demons, that guy have demons. And we think of demons as, or a demon possession or a demon attack as someone, on the ground beating up and frothing, catching a fit. Now, back in the ancient time, I think in the Middle Ages, probably in ancient Europe, when Esau was ruling, they saw that as a demon attack. They actually called that, being demon possessed, where it really and truly they were just catching a fit. They were just, on the ground. That was just, how they would call that clinical term when they someone catching a seizure, right? But when, not to say that in biblical times that's not what happened when particular demons jumped on someone, but you have to acknowledge the fact that demons can also come very subtly, very subtle, very smooth, very easy, very faint. All right. And we have to be able to identify them when they come, because demon jumps on all of us from time to time. All right. And they could come as easy as, you having a bad habit, you just wanting to overeat. A demon causing that. You wanting to, let's say like a woman, you call a woman who wants to have sex every time, you call her a nymphomaniac, right? And I believe when you go back into nymph is one of those so-called Greek gods. All right. Say she has a sex demon, like incubus and succubus. All right. Let's say you feeling tired all the time. That could be a demon. The demon that in your mind. And plenty times when we've been attacked by demons, we be thinking that we have an inner monologue with ourselves, but truth and fact, we have in a dialogue. You thinking that you talking to yourself. Should I go down the road today? And then nah, you shouldn't go down the road. You should do this today. Or should I do the videos today? Or should I go to camp today? And then you might hear your own voice respond, nah, you shouldn't go today because, you're tired from work or it's late. And by the time you reach the camp, it will only be 5 minutes. So, don't go another time. Guess what? There is spirits you having conversations with. You be thinking you having a conversation, an inner conversation with yourself, when really you having a conversation with an unclean spirit. And that is how they come. They come to you like this. All right? They come to you like this. And a lot of times we don't recognize that is an unclean spirit. We thinking is a conversation you have with yourself, when truth and fact it's not. All right. And a lot of times we allow these spirits to lead us astray. Sometimes they come in the form of dreams. That's why the scripture says, try every spirit. All right. Let's look at the fact with Ahab. When Ahab was deceived by his own prophets, those prophets firstly were deceived because they thought that those dreams or visions they had, it came from directly from the right hand of the Most High when it came from the left hand. So they first were deceived and then trickled down to Ahab being deceived. All right. So you have to be careful when making decision. The scripture says, a man's heart, advise him better than, many counselors, roughly paraphrasing. But it says, above all, pray unto the Most High, and he will, guide you right. So when you come to decision making, you pray and ask the Lord if this is what he wants. You know the scriptures, you go through the scriptures, see if these things lining up, coinciding with the scriptures. See if before you make your thoughts actions, see if your actions and even your thoughts, because the scripture said that you committed adultery from beginning with your thoughts, right? So you could sin basically from your thoughts. So first of all, you have to make sure that your thoughts aligning with the scriptures. So before you turn your thoughts into actions, make sure that they interline with the scriptures. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. Yeah, a lot of times we are impulsive and sometimes compulsive in the sense of we being compelled by unclean spirits to do things. All right. And our impulsive nature leads us to be compelled by other entities to do things that we would normally do, that we would normally allow ourselves to do. That is why the scripture says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. How you resisting the devil? You resisting by acknowledging when these unclean spirits are talking to you. They talk to you. In your very thought, they mimic your own voice, and you would hear your own voice talking to you in your head. All right. Hey, in case it might be towards a brother, and you might be like, this brother, has something against me, and you would look at the brother, because remember these spirits, they work in hand. So the spirits might be working in conjunction with another spirit that might make the brother make a certain move, and then the other spirit telling in your head is like, see, this is what I'm saying. He hates me, he dislikes me. All right. When the brother not even on you. All right. And that is how these spirits work. They dare to cause confusion. They dare basically, they dare to try you. They dare to try you. All right. They dare to try you. And a lot of times they dare to deceive you. So you have to be able to acknowledge when these demons are trying to get at you. All right. And the more you grow in this truth, the more subtle they get. The more smooth they come at you. They come at you so smooth, so subtle, that you actually have to be real keen to acknowledge when you actually fighting demons. All right. You have to always be paying attention, always be on your P's and Q's to know when these demons, they're coming at you. All right. Don't think that they're gonna come loud at you, all the time. They might come at you in your weakness. That's why the Lord said, my strength is known in weakness. When you are at your weakest, that's when you show your greatest strength. Because when you are at your weakest, you are at a crossroad where you give in to the allure of these spirits, or to say, nah, Satan, I see you. And you stick with your Haba Shemia Shai. All right? It says 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, so let's look up there in the blue letter. Let's look up advantage. All right. Let's look up the word advantage. It says what? To have more or a greater part or share, to be superior, excel, surpass, have an advantage over, to gain or take advantage of another, to overreach. All right? So don't let Satan have the greater part of you, in the sense of that you acting solely off of impulses and compulsion, where you're not even thinking straight no more. All you doing, you just allowing these demons to get the best of you. You are allowing the demons to have 2/3 ownership over you, where they're controlling your spirit, and you thinking you in charge, you controlling the steering wheel, when you're not, because you're so impulsive and so compulsive, so under the compulsion of these unclean spirits, that you no longer in control of your own thoughts, that you think that you're making the right judgment, that you think that you're doing the right thing, that you think that you're doing the Lord's work, when you're not. When you're not. Because you're not taking the time to question if these unclean spirits are speaking with you. And a lot of times, you do this, and then you go to her, you say, I've actually witnessed this twice before. I'm going to call the brother's name, but I've acknowledged it twice before with the same brother. He asks, what is his fault? If I've seen a fault in the man and told him what is his fault, I say, yeah, you're proud. And that turned into a big argument. He said, no, I'm not proud, I'm not this. But guess what? By you flaring up, getting all in your feelings, you showing exactly what I just told you. You are proud. Second time, it happened again. And I said, you are doing the same thing I just told you not to do. You're showing great pride. All right? So you try to identify the demon, but when the demon identified, the demon acts up within you. The demon acts up within you, and now you get defensive because you're so far under the compulsion of this unclean spirit that that you are unwilling, you're reluctant to identify that, yes, this is the issue. And we have, it is prayer and fasting that are going to break us all from under the compulsion of these unclean spirits, because we in this flesh. So you need to acknowledge when you are under the compulsion of these unclean spirits. They are speaking to you in your own mind, and you thinking that is your own inner voice, which is not. Don't forget that we in this flesh, we subjected to demon attacks. We are subjected to them just being in this flesh. All right? And when you look up devices, it says what? A mental perception, thought. We are not ignorant of Satan's mental attacks. What? An evil purpose, that which thinks, the mind, thoughts or purposes. Because why? He portrays his thoughts into our thoughts. Satan is speaking to you through your thoughts. Don't look for Satan to come and stand up in front of you and have a one-on-one. He's in your mind, having that whispering, and you thinking that is you all along. No, it's not you. That's why Paul said, "O wretched man that I am, it is sin that dwelleth within me, them unclean spirits." Don't ever say to yourself that you don't have spirits on you. Don't ever say to yourself that you do not have spirits on you. They come in all shapes, form, and fashions. Acknowledgement is the first step to fighting them. Acknowledgement is the first step to fighting them. It says Luke chapter 22 and verse 1. It says, "Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which was called the Passover." It says, "And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might kill him." It's talking about Yahushua, for they feared the people. Then entered Satan into Judas, surname Iscariot. So you think Judas was on the ground beaten up and frothing up, catching a seizure? Nah. It says, being of the number of the 12, and he went his way and communed with the chief priest and captain, how he might betray him unto them. And they were glad and covenanted to give him money. And then when Satan jumped off of Judas, guess what? He came back to his right and like, what the F I just did? In his mind, he was doing something good. Guess what? Judas probably thought that he was, they probably whispered into his ear at one time that, hey, we just want to question it. We just want to, to see if he's the real one. And Judas probably saying, you know what? Yes, Yahushua is the real one. So by doing this, he will prove to all that he is the true anointed. So if I just, tell them where we are, they would come and take him, and they would put him on trial, and everybody will see, yes, Yahushua is the one. And then Judas think that he will get praise for bringing Yahushua to the test, so that everybody will see. He probably thought he was doing a good job. Judas probably thought he was doing a good job, because why? He was deceived by the king of the unclean spirits. Which Yahweh Shemel is the king, but want me like the head demon. All right, the head demon Satan. He jumped on Judas and he did his work. He worked his charm. He knocked around and he whispered and Judas took bait. Judas took bait. All right. Just like with King David took bait when Satan jumped on him to number Israel. And just like with Judas, it was all the work of the Most High. Because in one chapter, it says Satan jumped on David to number Israel. And in another chapter, it said that the Lord, his anger was moved against Israel. So he moved David to number Israel. So for scripture to fulfill, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he sent Satan to do his work on Judas. All right? Just like he did with Job. All right? Just like he did with Job. He sent Satan, hey, you go do what you had to do. Put him to the test. All right? So a lot of times, hey, you have to acknowledge when these spirits, when they're whispering in your ear. All right? When they're whispering in your ear, you might think you're doing a good. You might actually think that what you're doing is good. The scripture says that advice go before enterprise. When you have when you dare counseling within yourself to do something, hey, you counsel others to make sure what you're doing is in the right. All right? And you tell them the whole counsel, because a lot of times you go and counsel with men and you might not tell them the whole plan, and they will covenant with you, believing that what you're doing is with good intention, not knowing that you didn't tell them all the thoughts of the unclean spirit, because within yourself what you were intending to do holistically wasn't right. But the demon done compelled you so much that you're like, to hell with it, you going forward with the plan. All right? Scripture say all the ways in a man's heart are right, but the end is death. All right? The end is death. All right, is the final precept here. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and verse 24. It says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion. Their own vain opinion. And an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment. So your own vain opinion had destroyed you. Because while you allowed them unclean spirits to get the better of you, you didn't acknowledge them for where they are. You have to pay attention to them spirits when they're whispering. They always be whispering. They always be telling you. Every time you're trying to find a loophole in the laws, is unclean spirits trying to lead you to find a loophole. That is not you. Because on a normal basis, you're not going to do that. Acknowledge them demons for where they are. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that do rule well. Salutation to the men of the Hopeful and Saints elect. This is your brother Marcus out here in Trinidad saying Shalom and stay strong. Shalom.